Heard of the newfangled Occult Crescent field operation? Some even call it the croissant. Whether you are completely new to the content, a little bit new, or just want a bit of a general overview to make sure you didn't miss anything important, I imagine I will be able to cover what you might be looking for. Remember that there are chapters in the video in case you're looking for something specific. Getting started. First, you must complete the main scenario quest Dawntrail, reach the credits of the expansion. And then the expedition messenger over the docks near Wachumekimeki will offer the quest One Last Hurrah. Simply following this quest through should get you started. When you hand in the quest Unfamiliar Territory, the introductory text explaining what the Occult Crescent is will appear. Assuming you slowly read through all the cutscenes and dialogue, this will take about 30 minutes. Before entering the Occult Crescent, run back to the east half of the Phantom Village and find Lydiasale, to start the Relic Weapon questline. The quest you're looking for is called Arcane Artistry. Fun fact, when the Demiatmas are mentioned, your character will have either a confused look or worried look, depending on whether you did an A Realm Reborn Relic Weapon quest, meaning you would be acquainted with Atma farming. Once the quest is picked up, it will show on your map as if you can hand it in, but are the wrong job, or whatever you want to call it. Red checkmark. This will be the case until you have all the Demiatmas you need. At this point, if you have no desire to actually enter the Occult Crescent and just want to do the Relic Quest, here are the details you need. You will need 3 each of 6 different colored Demiatmas. Each drops from Fates in a specific Dawntrail zone. The Azurite Light Blue drop from Urkopacha. The Verdigris Deep Blue drop from Kozama Uka. The Malachite Green drops from Yaktel. The Realgar Orange drops from Shaloni. The Caput Mortuum Purple drops from Heritage Found, and the Orpiment Yellow drops from Living Memory. To some degree, one could say the color of the zone sort of matches vaguely. Keep in mind that once you have all 18 Demiatmas to hand in, Gerald will ask you for 1,500 Heliometry Tomestones per weapon you want, including the first one. So consider having some heliometry on hand when you get close to finishing. Keep in mind, the Demiatmas have rather low drop rates, so you might get unlucky. Continuing the Occult Crescent, go back to Jeffroy in the west side and enter Southhorn, and then continue through the quests in the camp. While we're here, take note of the vendors. The Expedition Antiquarian is the one you trade your silver and gold coins with. They have Occult Crescent specific armor, also sells job shards, cosmetics and more. They also sell some upgrade materials. The Expedition Trader is the one you go to if you end up with excess notes or other things you won't need. The Expedition Armorer is the one that upgrades your Occult Crescent specific gear. Certain phantom jobs will mention that when a specific action is used near a knowledge crystal, quote unquote, they do something extra. The grey crystal near the Aetheryte is one such crystal. If you use the appropriate action next to such a crystal, the effect mentioned is applied to your entire party, regardless of distance. Simply make sure to maintain these. Knights can use Prey to reduce damage taken, monks can use counterstance to increase move speed, and bards can use Romeo's Ballad to increase XP received from killing open world mobs. This means it only matters if you're farming regular mobs. Simply rotate through the jobs and use the actions to maintain the buffs as you are able when you pass by a knowledge crystal. Now, make sure you attune to the Aetheryte before continuing. At this point, you should shortly be able to venture forth. Phantom jobs. There are a total of 13 phantom jobs, including the Freelancer, the 3 starting ones Knight, Monk and Bard, the 3 silver coin jobs Chemist, Time Mage and Cannoneer, the 3 gold coin jobs Thief, Samurai and Geomancer, and the 3 critical engagement drop jobs Oracle, Berserker and Ranger. You can switch your phantom job as long as you're not in combat, and each of them offers a few actions to help you. The highest level a phantom job can attain is equal to whatever level their last unlockable action is. However, don't let that fool you, as even the jobs with only a measly 3 levels in total takes a combined 14,400 XP to max out. Some jobs take more or less XP, but all of them are relatively close in comparison. Each job you fully master gives you a permanent buff that increases your damage done slightly, so focusing on one job at a time is more effective than switching a lot. To use the actions of your equipped Phantom job, your Duty Action 1 keybind will use the currently selected action, and Duty Action 2 will rotate the list to the next one. Alternatively, in your actions and traits, you can simply grab the Phantom action buttons and bind them directly to your hotbars. Dragging the actions from the Phantom job menu should also work. For first-timers to Occult Crescent, while it may not be a very interesting or exciting Phantom job to start with, the Knight's Phantom Guard can bail you out in a situation where you don't know what to do, making it easier to learn bosses on your first go. The Questline, or how do I unlock a common thread? Quite quickly, you should run into a situation where Archive will have a quest for you that you cannot take. The first step here is a ruined land. To unlock it, you must grab the survey point that gives the Occult Record 7 specifically. Once the quest is done, Archive will do this again, this time holding the quest A Common Thread hostage. To unlock this quest, you must get the records 9, 13 and 15 specifically, which are located at these locations shown. Once this quest is done, you must collect record 19 to unlock Past and Crescent. And this quest requires you to do the specific critical engagement Calamity Bound, which is one of a select few critical engagements that require player action to spawn. Ink stains in the southwest corner of the map must be slain to eventually cause it to spawn. Completing this quest unlocks the Forked Tower. However, you also need to have knowledge level 20 to enter, so if you feel like some of these quest steps takes you to scary areas, take your time. I died. What do I do now? Dying in and of itself serves no other punishment than you being dead. Try to call out for help in the shout chat. Why? Because if you choose to spawn at camp, you lose a lot of knowledge experience. And you can lose levels doing so. Your knowledge XP progress is not safe and secure. Traveling efficiently. Now, how do you actually go about progressing in the Occult Crescent? Whatever you choose to focus on first, your first step should be to attempt to attune to every ether shard in the area, as it will massively increase your ability to make it to things in time. Take note that the return action has no cooldown in the Occult Crescent, which means that reaching most places is most quickly done by simply teleporting home, using the main aetherite to teleport to the closest ether shard, and mounting from there. Additionally, you will need 3,000 silver pieces to purchase the riding map, which massively increases your mounted speed in the area, so it should be your first purchase. Leveling. The most effective and reliable way to level up both your knowledge level and your Phantom jobs is to simply participate in Fates and Critical Engagements, CEs. Take note that overall, the CEs award somewhere around 6 times more rewards in every category applicable compared to Fates, so if you ever have to choose, always choose the CE. For Fates, you need to at least participate a bit before it ends. For CEs, you need to be there before the encounter begins to be allowed to participate at all. In other words, to level in Occult Crescent, simply run from Fate to Fate, and when a CE spawns, run to that instead. Silver pieces are also primarily, if not exclusively, awarded from Fates and CEs, so starting out, focusing on these tasks is highly recommended. Gold pieces. The gold pieces are exclusively awarded for killing the open world mobs, quote unquote, and they are only awarded if the mob you fight is within a reasonable level range to you or your party. Larger parties must fight stronger enemies to gain rewards, both knowledge XP, Phantom XP, and gold pieces. If you are in a party with a large enough level difference, a syncing button will appear. If you are fighting open world mobs, syncing should be used. If you're running Fates and CEs, you can ignore this button entirely. Some mobs will also have a swirly icon over them indicating they will start a kill chain. Doing this will give increasingly more rewards the further the chain goes. Take note that whether these appear or not also depends on your level. While traversing the Crescent, most mobs can be avoided by sneaking behind them. But still, be careful, some mobs are sound activated instead. Big loops around mobs. Now, there are a bunch of different ways to farm gold pieces, whether solo or in a party, and each time someone brings it up, a new strategy has appeared, so I will leave it up to you to find the way that works for you. Treasure coffers. In the Occult Crescent, there are, I would say, 4 categories of treasures. Category 1. Random spawns. These coffers you will simply come across as you explore. These respawn gradually as you participate in content in the Crescent, and supposedly there are 30 bronze chest spawns and 8 silver chest spawns, and there are maps of every location of them, so you can check each spawn every so often for the loot. Category 2. Mimics. These are mob spawns, however they will not drop anything special on their own. The only way to get special loot from them, I've been told, is by using the thief skill Steal, and then killing them. Category 3. Pots. Certain events on the map associated with pots will often lead to an imp in a pot following you around for a bit. Using the extra elixir button you are given while it follows will make it tell you a direction. If you follow its directions, it will lead to treasure that sometimes can be good. However, most of the time it will just be like materia and prisms, so don't get your hopes up. Take note that the imp can take damage, and if it dies, you lose the opportunity. If the 15-minute timer ends, you also lose the opportunity. Category 4. Chewed carrots. To open these, you need a fortune carrot, which itself is a rare drop. However, if you do, it gives you a bunch of cash and a rare item. They could be considered fancy-schmancy random spawns. The fortune carrot is tradable though, but at the moment they're more expensive than the items the chewed carrot gives you anyway. Certain rare drops from Occult Crescent are exclusive to silver and gold pot chests, and the chewed carrot essentially is one of those gold chests. This loot table includes the twirl emote. Demiatmas in the Crescent. Just like the Demiatmas are associated with a specific zone, they're also associated with a specific area of the Crescent, and can drop from fates and CEs. This advice is more like a rule of thumb. The actual map shown here is more accurate. However, the yellows are from the open fields, the purples are from the eastern castle area, the oranges are from the northern water region, the greens are from the western caves, the azurites are from the southeastern forests, ruins and city, and the deep blues are from the southwestern ascent. My advice is, if you only really need 1 or 2 Demiatma types still, is to go to the specific Dawntrail zones to farm them, as you can more easily target them there. Critical engagement job shards. The Oracle job shard sometimes is dropped by On the Hunt, featuring the Lion Rampant. This is supposedly spawned by fighting the fans in that area. The Ranger job shard is sometimes dropped by the Black Regiment, the Black Chocobo fight. The Berserker job shard is sometimes dropped by the Unbridled, the Berserker fight. Special attribute. Once you have the riding map for the zone, another way to improve your performance in the Crescent is to acquire role equipment for the zone. This equipment, in addition to giving you more primary attributes, also gives you a bonus to the special attribute. In short, phantom actions gain a boost from this special attribute, making them do more damage. Another notable detail here is that the way your knowledge level interacts with mobs in the zone is that a level difference affects the damage done and taken between you and the target. Meaning that an enemy with a high level advantage will do a lot of damage and take very little damage from you. The smaller the difference, the more evenly matched you are. Phantom actions completely ignore this difference, making these attacks always deal their full potential. The special attribute boosts this further. On top of this, Fates and CEs do not use the knowledge level at all, so you only have to worry about the open world mobs in the area when doing these. Finally, regarding the Occult Crescent specific gear, the zone sinks you to item level 700, but the Occult Crescent bonuses on the specific gear still applies, meaning that these armor sets will always be your best option for the zone. An additional note about the phantom actions is that they are affected by damage bonuses and other effects from your actual jobs. This includes, for example, Black Mage's Enochian magic damage bonus boosts the damage of the Cannoneer's cannon attacks. The cooldown of said cannon attacks is also reduced by Greased Lightning, Ley Lines, Presence of Mind, the like. Paladin's Divine Magic Mastery also cuts the cost of Occult Heal in half, and Imperator removes cast times. This does not include the inherent 20% damage loss all tanks passively suffer from though. Convenient. Optimizing your start. While you don't have to do anything in any particular order or way, if you do want to make your start a bit easier, I have a few tips and suggestions. Starting with the Knight Phantom job gives you a safety net for learning the CEs. If you combine this with playing a tank job yourself, this gives you even more second chances of survival, and thus better chances of learning the fights. Once Knight is maxed out, going for Monk second to unlock counterstance is a decent idea if you have no other plans of your own, as this gives you 2 of these semi-permanent boosts. Although it is likely whatever players you might party with already have them too. Try to make sure to max out a Phantom job before switching to the next one to master as many as possible for the damage boost they grant. For your silver coins, I recommend purchasing the Riding Map first. After that, you can invest in a role-specific armor set or alternatively get some of the job shards if you like. The Cannoneer is very good for gold piece farming. The Chemist uses currencies for their actions, so this probably should wait till last. For gold coins, I highly recommend purchasing the Thief, as its steal action can net you more gold coins. However, aside from its sprint action, basically all of the Thief's other actions are kind of useless on CEs. A slight misconception about the steal action is that it supposedly gave a greater chance of Demiatmas. It does not, and if it did, when steal successfully gives you something, it says so in the log. The Forked Tower. Once you feel ready, the last challenge is of course the Forked Tower. Now, to be clear, this duty is surprisingly hard for something that semi-randomly puts together groups. I have been told it is at least around extreme trial difficulty, and 1 or 2 players not knowing what to do can be devastating to the entirety of the run. For this reason, I highly recommend that you acquaint yourself with guides and the like as best you can before jumping in. Having as many Phantom job masteries as you can before jumping in is also highly recommended. To be able to enter, you must purchase a Sanguine Cipher, which costs either silver or gold pieces, you choose. If enough capable players are in an instance, the weather may change to Auroral Mirage, and at that point, the ciphers can be used to enter the Forked Tower. The run can take place with between 16 and 48 players. Unlike everywhere else in the zone, you can only pick your Phantom job at the entrance. Take note that this duty is similar to Baldesion Arsenal and Delubrum Reginae Savage in that normal races will not work and that mechanics can be quite punishing. Thrice come ruin, meaning that being hit by an avoidable mechanic 3 times in a fight means you die anyway, so entering with the assumption that someone else can just raise you is not a good idea. To be clear, I'm not saying you can't go, I'm simply saying make sure you did your homework. For your sake too. If you have any tips or tricks for the Occult Crescent, or alternatively have questions about this content, be sure to leave them in the comments. Now, that is all for this video. Thank you so much for watching. If you would like to support me and my channel more directly, you can become a member like these wonderful people here. You can also alternatively support me through Ko-Fi, link in the description. You can also support the channel by letting the YouTube algorithm know by liking the video, leaving a comment, subscribing, sharing, and hitting the bell to get notified when next I post a video. Fun fact, the chewed carrots are a reference to the bunny fates of Eureka, which, similar to the pots of the Crescent, sees you pick up a bunny and then enticing it with a carrot to lead you to treasure with varying results.